In advance of this hearing, I contacted rabbis and friends back home in Virginia. I wanted my questions to be centered in their thoughts and shared experiences, because as we talk about anti-Semitism in Europe, the deepest impact of anti-Semitism facing my constituents are the threats, the crimes, and the fear that exists in Virginia. I'm sure you've seen the images from 2017 when white nationalists walked through the streets of Charlottesville, a beautiful college town. Men with torches shouted, "Jews will not replace us." And just miles down the road in my district, our JCC summer camp was graffitied with anti-Semitic slurs. Our high schools and our little leagues have been graffitied with language of hate, and a plot to bomb synagogues and attack black churches was uncovered by the FBI a few years ago. Central Virginia has one of the oldest Jewish communities in the United States, dating back to the 1700s. And in the aftermath of a genocide that killed millions of Jews in Europe, we are a place where Holocaust survivors settled, raised families, and found some level of normalcy after escaping the unthinkable and losing everything. We have leaders in our community who share their stories of their escapes: the family that was warned by a professor, "Take your children and leave Germany," the woman who survived because a kind stranger gave her family false papers, and the man who spent months as a child living in a potato hole underground after escaping a deportation line. Central Virginians have advocated for education, seeing it as the way to avoid the very rise in anti-Semitism generations past had escaped. We have a deeply moving Holocaust museum to educate our children, active community synagogues, and even a regionally known Jewish food festival. And yet, as the generations of my parents and grandparents worked to root out anti-Semitism with community and education, today we are confronted with the stories of my generation and our children's. High school children in my district are told, "Take a shower," a dark reference to the gas chambers of concentration camps. Young mothers are fearful of having their children's religion known, and a rabbi who grew up with the incomprehensible knowledge that his great-grandparents and other family members had perished en route to a concentration camp now must contend with how to lead his family and his congregation when his own young children are taunted by strangers on the street when wearing a kippah in public. The response in Europe and here has been the fortification of Jewish spaces, but as another local rabbi noted, the doors of houses of worship should be open to all seekers without those inside needing fear, and it keeps me up at night. Not only the fear about whether I can keep my people safe, but also the sadness and frustration about who inevitably gets left out on the other side of the locked door. Thank you for your participation today. I yield back.